Got the transmission bolted up to the engine stand. I guess the next thing is to go ahead and get all the numbers off here. Make sure it's, find the ID tag wherever it is. And then, you know, do a little bit of research, make sure that I've got what I think I've got. I was told it was a C4, pretty much looks like it. It's been sitting for a little while. Everything works though. All the linkage and everything works just fine. The shaft turns inside here. I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing cleaned up, do some research on it, take these lines off. We may be able to reuse them. Definitely have to fix that. And since that just came off, I'm gonna have to look inside real good, make sure that there's not any dirt or anything in there. We'll get this all cleaned up and then painted, and probably gonna do the same color as the engine. About to take the transmission pan off. We'll get a first look at what the internals look like together. Whoa, this isn't good. All right, well, there you go. You can see that doesn't look good at all. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up and see what I need to do to make it work better. But I don't know, it may just be a rubber piece, may just be cosmetic at this point, I don't know. We'll just take a good look at it and we'll go from there. All right, with about 5 minutes of cleaning, you can see it cleaned up pretty well. Still obviously not perfect. Seems like there was probably some water in there at some point. The shaft turns, you know, so nothing's froze up in there. I think what I'm going to do, I think this is just like the filter housing something, but I can get in there, and I want to go ahead and take this off and give me an opportunity to clean it up a little bit better and to peer inside and see just how bad things are. I might have to replace that screen, or at the very least can get it cleaned up. But yeah, it doesn't look terribly bad. I think it's something that we can work with. This is the state of the transmission pan, and as you can see, it's pretty gunked up. So I need to get this cleaned up real good, get a new gasket for it, and we'll flip it over, clean that up, and get it painted and everything. But everything should be good. Then we'll get this transmission cleaned up real good, degreased all this stuff off there, and tape it up and go ahead and paint it. But it's all coming together. Should be pretty quick. As you can see, I've got the transmission all cleaned up and primered. Next step, paint it red. I think I'm going to do some of the other things, the servo plates and just different things in black, kind of give it a good contrast. The pan will obviously be in black, so let's get going. I've got the transmission all painted up. I've got servo plate taken off right now. I've looked all over this thing, tried to get all the numbers off it and everything, and I can't tell what year it is. Got the valve body down here, got the number for the valve body, and all I can really get is that it's from a 70s model something or other. So I ran into a problem here with the transmission. So obviously I've got it all painted and everything, it's ready to go. Last night I was doing some measuring, and it turns out that the torque converter that I had for this that came with the transmission was too small for the flywheel that came with the engine. So I ended up getting another torque converter to match the flywheel. This flywheel does fit on the motor. The bolt pattern here is about, as you can see, it's about 11 3/8, something like that. So I had to get a new torque converter. Then I was looking at the block plate to see if it matched up, and it does for the most part, except for down here at the starter. That doesn't match up at all. But I got to doing some research, and I found out that, you know, obviously there's a couple different size flywheels. There's a 157 tooth, I think, and then 164 tooth, and the flywheel that I have is 164 tooth flywheel, but I put it up here to see and it doesn't fit at all. So I got one of the smaller bell housings Um, so I've already ordered, you know, obviously the torque converter. I've got the starter. I've got everything to match except for the bell housing's wrong. So I need to take this apart. I need to put a new bell housing on there, and everything should fit. Everything should bolt up just fine. So I got one of those coming. It's bigger. That matches, and it should match this block plate as well. But that means that I'm gonna have to do some more painting. But then everything should match up. Everything should bolt up just fine, and we can go ahead and mate these two up and get the engine installed in this thing and get it started. This is probably the worst bell housing I've ever seen. It's definitely not original. It looks hand cast, and it's thick. It's super thick. I mean, that's like a 1-inch wall just on the mating flange. So anyway, all the holes lined up, everything looked good. The machining work looks really good on it. You can see inside, it looks like everything lines up pretty good. Bolt pattern for the transmission to bolt up is correct. So went ahead and got this kind of bolted on, just temporarily placed on for now. I wanted to check to make sure that the starter was going to work. So I've actually got that bolted up right now. That seems to be working so far. Everything lines up pretty good. However, I want to show you inside here. You can see that the teeth on the flywheel are actually hitting the bell housing, and that's not good. It's only in a couple spots. You can kind of see around a little bit. It looks pretty good in most places, but it's pretty tight right there on both sides. I need to take this back off and do some grinding, and then on top of that, you can see here, there's really no room for these bolts to seat properly, so I'm gonna have to probably grind that area out a little bit. Yeah, this thing is, I don't know. My next job here is going to be to see if I can get the starter hooked up and just see if I can get this thing to turn, if the starter will engage with the flywheel with the bell housing, because I don't know, it looks really tight in there, but with it bolted up like this, I should be able to at least check and make sure that it's going to work before, you know, I go painting it and taking it all apart. The good news is it does turn. Obviously it's dragging on the bell housing on the inside. I still need to get in there and ground it out, but I'll show you real quick. So that tells me that the alignment is good with the starter. The alignment with the bell housing, everything lines up the way it should so far. So that gives me confidence to go forward. Like I said, the flywheel is dragging on the inside of the bell housing, so I'm gonna have to get in there and grind it out. So I've got a few areas to mark in there. I've got the bell housing up here on the engine stand just to make it easier for me. And you can see I've got a couple areas marked out where I need to kind of grind out, you know, just to give that flywheel a little bit of room to navigate. Anyway, you can kind of see this is my mark right here, just how deep it is, the top one closest to that line. And yeah, over here too. I'm just going to use a really coarse pad on my grinder and get all this off. If I need to, I'd come in with a burr bit and do that, but I'm just going to try to make this as quick and easy as possible. All right, well, after a little bit of Oklahoma engineering, you take a look. I got this up here. You can see I've got about an 1/8 inch of clearance on the most critical points, and then as you get up top, there's about a 1/4 inch or so, and then back down to about 1/8 inch. That makes me feel a whole lot better, and I think we can go ahead and proceed. Well, there you have it. It's all bolted up after a harrowing ordeal. So everything's bolted up, torqued down exactly where I want it. Looks real good. The only thing I haven't done yet is bolt down the torque converter to the flywheel, but I need a spacer, so I'm gonna go pick up a spacer and some bolts tomorrow. No big deal, but it looks really good. sitting perfectly level right now. Everything looks real good. I think I need to hook the starter up, and I think I'd be comfortable turning it over just to make sure that everything works the way it's supposed to, that the gears are turning and everything's good. Alright, so as you can see, we've got oil flowing through the push rods onto the rockers all the way around, so that's a good sign. I don't know, I'm guessing we had about 40 or 50 pounds of pressure. That's definitely way too much. All right, well, wasn't expecting that, but you can see it's a running motor. It's a viable running motor. So really, I just need to hook up the fuel lines and everything, maybe a couple vacuum lines. Then I could get this thing timed, really, but I'm not really worried about it. You can see that it's going to run, so we'll go ahead and bolt up these valve covers and just kind of leave this alone for now. I need to start working on the front end of this car.